Mediterranean orzo with chicken thighs, fresh dill, and feta cheese. So this dish is actually quite simple, not a lot of prep to do. We're just gonna get a few things ready before we walk over to the stove. We're gonna cut our dill. So dill has a pretty intense flavor. A little bit goes a long way. And remember, you could always add more, but we can't take it out. So now that our dill's cut, we're gonna move over to our chicken thighs. So the chicken thighs are actually pretty lean. So we're just gonna trim off just a touch of fat. Then we're gonna go back through and dice them. So you may have noticed that I didn't wipe off the cutting board before I started cutting the chicken. That's done intentionally because I want the chicken to pick up the oil from the dill that's on the cutting board. So I want this dish to be really predominant in chicken. So I'm gonna use all 6 thighs. And again, we're gonna cut in strips and then go back through and dice it. So now that our chicken is all cut up, we are going to season it. We're gonna do salt, pepper, little granulated garlic, a little rosemary, a pinch of red pepper, and then our crushed oregano. So I'm gonna season this dry. I'm not gonna add any oil to it because we're gonna try and control how much liquid we're putting into the pan so we could get our soup to thicken up into a sauce opposed to making it more soupy. So now that that's nicely seasoned, we're gonna set that aside and let the flavors soak in. So we're gonna take a few simple things and make them delicious. Let's head over to the stove. So we're gonna start by dropping our orzo into some boiling salted water. Always remember, instantly stir your pasta as it goes into the water. That'll help prevent it from sticking. So we're gonna get our pan hot. We're gonna add some extra virgin olive oil. And to our extra virgin olive oil, we're gonna add our seasoned chicken thighs. So for this dish, I chose chicken thighs because we're looking for that extra fat and flavor that chicken thighs have over chicken breast. Chicken breast would be great for this dish. It'll just come out a little drier, a little firmer, whereas the chicken thighs are gonna come out a little more moist and a little more tender and really impart that nice chicken flavor into the fond of our dish. Now that our thighs have started to sear, we're gonna add a little bit of diced onion and some chopped garlic. So now that our chicken is about halfway cooked, we're gonna add half the dill into it. We wanna cook the dill to help release the natural oil of the dill to get that nice fresh dill flavor. So now that our chicken is like 90% done, I'm gonna add half the spinach to the pot and I'm gonna cook that half down into the chicken because again, we're trying to build flavor. So by wilting the spinach, we're gonna get it to release its natural water into the bottom of the pan and we're gonna help that water evaporate by cooking, intensifying our spinach flavor. So now that our spinach is cooked, we're gonna take our soup and add it right to the pot. So now that we added our soup, you wanna make sure that you go back and scrape the bottom of the pot because we want all that fond to release into our sauce. So our pasta is ready and we're pulling it off a few minutes early because we want to finish cooking it in the sauce. 2 reasons. 1, to obviously finish cooking the pasta. 2, it'll help infuse our sauce into the pasta and most importantly, help to thicken our sauce. So we're gonna incorporate our orzo into our sauce. And as you can see, as soon as you add the orzo, that's a little bit undercooked because of the starch, it instantly starts to thicken. At this point, we are going to add the rest of our dill. We're going to add the rest of our spinach. We want to work a little quickly here. You can go on the stove and off the stove. So now we're going to take our feta. So I like to crumble the feta right in the bag. Makes it very easy to contain. If you don't have the hand strength to break it, put it on the counter and with your fist, just knead it. And because of the structure of the feta, it'll naturally break into crumbles. So we're going to add half the feta in the pasta. And we're not looking to melt the feta. We're just looking to incorporate it into the dish. The smaller pieces are gonna melt to help make the sauce creamy. We're gonna turn off our heat. Now we're ready to plate. So as you plate, I like to work my way back and forth because the pasta on the bottom of the pot is gonna be a little saucier than the pasta on the top of the pot. So I like to work my way back and forth to kind of keep each dish consistent between sauce and ingredients. Then we're gonna go back through with our crumbled feta. Just a sprinkle on the top of each plate. And then we're gonna take a couple of our dill frong, just rip them and drop them right on top. And now we're ready to eat.